The story is about one Rabbi Mordechai. This Rabbi Mordechai, he was a follower of the third Rebbe of Chabad, the Tzemach Tzedek. So over here. Okay. He was a follower of the Tzemach Tzedek, the third Rebbe of Chabad. He was on his way to Lubavitch to spend the holiday, to spend Yom Kippur with the Rebbe, and on the way somehow or other his wagon broke down, and he found himself in some city, and he realized it was only like 4 or 5 hours before Yom Kippur. He would never make it to Lubavitch by foot. So he asked people if there was a synagogue there, and they said there's no synagogue, there's no Jews that live here. But they said there is a town of strange Jews that's about an hour walk from here. So we walked there to this town, and it happened to be a town of Cantonists. Cantonists, what's Cantonists? Cantonists were Jews that were taken by the Tsar into the army when they were children. The idea was with the Tsar, I think this even started off in a small way with the Tsar Alexander, even from the first Rebbe of Chabad. But it really got rolling in the third Rebbe of Chabad. Then I think his name was Tsar Nikolai. In any case, they would kidnap Jewish children. There were Jews that would go around to Jewish towns, and they would call chappers. They would grab Jewish children from the streets and kidnap them to the army. And the parents were not allowed to keep the children from the draft, and they would take children even at the age of 5 years old in order to educate them and reorient them, give them not kosher food to eat, because their whole idea was Russia was a very, very, very religious country, Russian Orthodox. Everybody was super religious. And of course, the Jews were like a big bone in their throats. They had the religion of the truth, and the Jews, they were the ones that killed God and all this other stuff. So they did everything they could to get Jews to stop being Jews. And one of the things they did was they would grab children. So they grabbed children. There were some of the children that they succeeded and they changed their religion. Some of the children died because they refused to eat not kosher and things like that. And some of them survived. They survived. After they were like 25 years in the army or something, they let them go. And so those Jews that survived, they were called Cantonists. Cantonists. I think Canton is like a little town or something, a little village or something. So all the Jews, they would keep them, they would go together. Whatever the reason was, these were Jews that were like broken in mind and in small, because they had been tortured, but they refused to submit to the pressures of the army. And when they got out, most of them, the parents already died or the parents weren't there. Anyway, so they made a town on their own. And a lot of them, they weren't married. I don't know if this town happened to be that nobody was married, because their minds were all scrambled from all that happened to them. And so, no one would want to marry them, whatever the case was. Anyway, this Rabbi Mordechai, he happens into this town. It's like 2 hours before Yom Kippur. As soon as he comes in, everybody starts to yell, there's a rabbi that came here. They all line up and they're kissing his hands, they're kissing his feet. And they say, oh, Rabbi, this is so wonderful, you're here. And you can lead the prayers. Can you lead the prayers? He said, yeah, you want to pray? I can lead the congregation. They said, yes, but one thing we want to say, and one of us should say the last prayer. Now, on Yom Kippur, it's not like any of the other holidays. All the other holidays, Shabbat, there's 4 prayers. There's the evening prayer, and then the morning prayer, there's what's called a Musaf prayer. Then there's the afternoon prayer and the evening prayer. On Yom Kippur, there is 5 prayers, and one of those prayers is called Ne'ilah. Ne'ilah is the 5th prayer. The prayer right before the evening prayer is a prayer called Ne'ilah. Nila, that's the prayer. And it's sort of shorter than the other prayers of Yom Kippur. So there's no reading of the Torah, Nila. So they said, okay, Rabbi, you can lead all the prayers. We just want one of us should say the prayer of Ne'ilah. Ne'ilah. It's a very heartfelt prayer. You can look in a Jewish prayer book called a Machzor, and you'll see there's a Machzor. It's a special prayer book for Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. And Ne'ilah is the last prayer. So they said, we want one of us to say it. They said, this Rabbi Mordechai said, listen, you can say all the prayers. No. We want you to pray. You stand in front of the congregation, you pray, and we'll listen, we'll follow along, but one of us will say the Ne'ilah prayers. Okay, good. And so he says the prayers, and they're all crying. A lot of them, they don't even know the meaning of the words. And they're all crying, and they're praying along with him in the Yom Kippur. And that's how it goes, the evening prayer, and the morning prayer, and the Musaf prayer, and the afternoon prayer. Comes right near the end of the day, the Ne'ilah prayer. And they say, okay, now one of us will say, okay, he sits in the crowd. One of them stands up in front of the congregation. There's maybe 30 people in the congregation, I don't know, 30, 50. This person stands in front, and he takes off his shirt. And he reveals in his back, there are all these scars from where he was beaten. Scars, deep scars that had healed over. They'll leave lumps and stripes and things on his back. And he starts the prayer and he says, Rabboni Shalom, God, Master of the universe, said, we're asking that you should bring Mashiach and make a good world. We're not asking because for our families, because we don't have any families. We're not asking because of our businesses. We don't have any businesses. We're not asking because of our future. Our future is pretty much sealed. We don't have much. We don't have any children. We don't have any. We're saying the only reason we're asking to bring Mashiach is Aseh L'man Shemecha. Do for your sake. Do it for the sake of your name. Great name. And then he started to pray. In other words, the true prayers of a Jew, like we just finished learning last week, like the shofar has a message to it, but the main thing of the shofar is not the message. The message is riding on the essence of the shofar, the screaming out of the essence of the soul of the Jew, because it hurts. It hurts. The exile hurts. That God is not revealed in the world, it hurts. You want a small idea what it means. When God is revealed, learn Chassidut. Have a feeling of what God is. Same thing Yom Kippur. We're asking God to make a good world, to clean everybody from all their mistakes and all their this. But why should we do it? Because it hurts. Just do it for your sake, God, just for your sake. Your inner essence connection with the Jews. Aseh L'man Shemecha. That's the essence prayer of Yom Kippur. Have a good day with Mashiach now. See you all tomorrow.